Your overthinking brain doesn't just imagine worst-case scenarios. It imagines alternatives. It sees possibilities. It connects dots that others miss entirely. Think about it. When you replay that conversation from earlier, yes, you're analyzing what went wrong. But you're also unconsciously mapping human behavior, understanding social dynamics, building a more sophisticated model of how people really think and feel. When you worry about future outcomes, you're not just being pessimistic. You're running mental simulations, preparing contingencies, developing the kind of strategic thinking that allows some people to navigate life's complexities with unusual grace. This is why so many overthinkers report feeling like they can read people better than others. It's not magic. It's the natural result of a mind that pays attention to details others ignore, that processes information at multiple levels simultaneously. The ancient Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, filled hundreds of pages with what we might today call overthinking. But his reflections weren't the wanderings of an anxious mind. They were the deliberate training of a consciousness learning to see reality more clearly. He wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. But to realize this, you first have to think about it. Deeply. Repeatedly. You have to examine your thoughts until you understand their patterns, their triggers, their effects. This isn't pathology. This is philosophy in action." Historical perspective. The great overthinkers. History's greatest minds weren't people who thought less. They were people who thought differently, more deeply, more persistently than those around them. Charles Darwin spent over 20 years developing his theory of evolution, obsessing over every detail, every potential criticism, every implication. He filled notebook after notebook with observations, questions, doubts, refinements. He was, by any modern standard, a chronic overthinker. And that's exactly why his work revolutionized our understanding of life itself. Vincent van Gogh painted the same scenes over and over, constantly analyzing light, color, emotion, trying to capture something that existed just beyond the reach of ordinary perception. His letters to his brother reveal a mind that couldn't stop questioning, couldn't stop searching, couldn't stop pushing deeper into the mystery of artistic expression. Leonardo da Vinci's notebooks read like the mind maps of someone who couldn't turn off his curiosity. He dissected corpses to understand anatomy, studied water flow to design machines, observed birds to dream of human flight. His overthinking gave us inventions centuries ahead of their time. These weren't people who suffered from overthinking. They were people who learned to harness it. But it's not just historical figures. Even today, research consistently shows that people prone to worry and rumination score higher on measures of creativity, problem-solving ability, and innovative thinking. The worry that keeps you up at night analyzing social interactions. It's the same cognitive process that allows therapists to understand human psychology at profound levels. The anxiety that makes you question every decision. It's the same mental mechanism that helps engineers design safer systems, that helps writers create more authentic characters, that helps leaders anticipate problems before they become crises. Your overthinking mind isn't malfunctioning. It's functioning exactly as it should for someone whose role is to see what others miss, to ask questions others won't, to dive deeper than others dare. The question isn't how to stop overthinking. The question is how to transform it from a source of suffering into a source of power. Practical wisdom. From burden to gift. So how do you make this transformation? How do you take the mind that keeps you awake with worry and turn it into the mind that creates, solves, and understands? The Stoics offer us a framework, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You are troubled by one thing, your own judgments, not by events themselves, but by the stories you tell yourself about those events." The overthinking mind excels at creating stories. The key is learning to create better ones. When you catch yourself spiraling about that conversation, instead of fighting the analysis, redirect it. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me about human nature? How can this insight help me connect more authentically with others? When you find yourself worrying about future outcomes instead of trying to stop, use the energy constructively. Ask, what can I learn from these scenarios? How can I prepare without becoming paralyzed? What wisdom is hiding in this concern? This is what philosophers call the discipline of perception. Training yourself to see your thinking patterns not as problems to be solved, but as information to be processed. Your overthinking mind is like a powerful sports car. The problem isn't the engine, it's learning how to drive it. Raw power without direction is dangerous, but power with purpose, that changes everything. Start treating your mental intensity as a gift that needs cultivation, not a disease that needs curing. Channel that analytical energy toward understanding yourself, others, and the world more deeply. Write down your overthoughts, not to stop them, but to see them clearly. Often, what feels like chaotic worry reveals itself to be systematic insight when you put it on paper. Set aside time for intentional deep thinking. If your mind is going to analyze anyway, give it specific problems to solve, questions to explore, mysteries to unravel. This is the difference between suffering with your mind and working with it, the frequency of depth. Let's return to that 3 a.m. scene. You're lying awake, mind racing, analyzing every detail of your day. But now, instead of fighting it, you understand what's happening. Your brain isn't malfunctioning, it's processing, it's learning, it's making connections that will serve you tomorrow, next week, next year. That conversation you're replaying, you're not just torturing yourself with it, you're extracting every piece of wisdom it contains, building a more sophisticated understanding of human communication. Those future scenarios you're imagining, you're not just creating anxiety, you're developing the kind of strategic thinking that will help you navigate complexity with grace. Your overthinking mind operates at a frequency most people can't access. While others skim the surface, you dive deep. While others accept easy answers, you ask harder questions. While others move on quickly, you understand thoroughly. This is your operating system. This is how you were designed to engage with reality. The world needs people who think deeply, who question assumptions, who see patterns others miss. The world needs people who care enough to lose sleep over getting things right, who are brave enough to sit with uncertainty until clarity emerges. Marcus Aurelius understood this when he wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." Your way of thinking, that complex, questioning, never quite satisfied mind, isn't the obstacle to your happiness. When properly understood and directed, it's the foundation of a life lived with depth, purpose, and authentic understanding. You're not broken. You're not too much. You're not neurotic. You're a deep thinker in a shallow world. You're an analyzer in a culture of snap judgments. You're someone who understands that the most important questions don't have easy answers, and that the most meaningful insights only come to those willing to sit with complexity. That's not a burden to bear. That's a superpower to embrace. The next time someone tells you to stop overthinking, remember, they're asking you to be less than you are. They're asking you to operate the below your natural frequency. Don't dim your intensity to make others comfortable. The world has enough surface-level thinking. What it needs is more people like you, people willing to go deeper, think harder, and refuse to settle for simple answers to complex questions. Your overthinking mind isn't the thing holding you back. It's the thing that will propel you forward, once you learn to see it not as a problem to solve, but as a gift to unwrap. Welcome to your superpower. It's time to use it. The return to 3 a.m., it's 3 a.m. again. The world sleeps, but your mind is alive. But this time, something has changed. You feel the familiar stirring of analysis, the urge to examine and re-examine. But now you recognize it for what it is, not the enemy of peace, but the companion of wisdom. Your mind moves through its natural rhythms of questioning and understanding, but without the resistance that once made it torture. You've learned to work with your nature instead of against it. And in that acceptance, in that integration, you find something you never expected. Not the absence of thought, but the presence of peace within thought. This is what it means to discover your superpower. Not to become someone else, but to become fully, authentically, powerfully yourself. The depth was always there. The strength was always there. The gift was always there. You just needed to learn how to see it.